It's time for On the Farm in Alabama, bringing farmers and agribusiness the latest news from Alabama Extension and the Auburn University College of Agriculture. Now here's your host, Alabama Extension Regional Agent, Eddie McGriff.
Good day. I'd like to welcome everybody to On the Farm in Alabama, and today I'm with one of our bean counters, and that is Nick McMichen, and we're in his early planted soybeans, April the 16th, but I'm also with Dr. John Woodruff, longtime soybean specialist with the University of Georgia, and he's the Dean of Soybean Specialists in the Southeast. John and I worked together for almost 40 years, and he's been a soybean specialist for almost 50 years. He's retired now, but he still keeps his hand in the pot. So I'm going to let Nick and John talk about these soybeans as we approach R3 stage.
Nick, I'm excited to hear that you're making nearly 100 bushel soybeans and actually exceeded that in a test plot. One of my goals over the years was to see us get beyond that 40 to 50 to 60 bushel range up to the 80 to 100 bushel range in soybeans. And with this early plant system, I'm seeing growers from Arkansas, Mississippi, all the way here making those top yields. So, and I think we got a lot to learn with soybeans to get yields up in that range. And the crop's got a great potential if we can do that in terms of profit.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming, Dr. Woodruff, and working with Extension, we've learned a lot with this early planted system. Getting beans in to allow for plenty of leaf growth and photosynthesis to allow to stick those blooms and to allow the plant to do what it does best, which is make soybeans. We're getting ourselves more time for bloom with these indeterminate varieties, and it's really paying big dividends, and we found that these indeterminates are much more tolerant to cold weather, and it's allowing them to bloom and to fill pods while we're getting rain in the summer.
I think one thing you're doing that's helpful is with what we call a low plant population. In years past, we would plant 145, 150,000 seed per acre, but we do not need to have plants lodging if we're going to make top yields. And you have a plant population here around 100,000 plants per acre, I think is ideal for getting top yield.
Absolutely. That was one of our goals. Lodging is it's just the enemy of the soybean harvest, and we planted 120,000 knowing that there would be some, to allow for it to, for some beans to not come up, but 100,000 was our target goal, and we have met that, and we think it's going to allow us to on this farm, there's 600 acres here, we hope that we'll average 80 bushels on it. Where there'll be some spots that will do better, but as you can see, we've got a good canopy. These beans look good. They're just beginning at R3. So we're about to apply a fungicide and put out some additional potash, and to help to keep the plant healthy going into full pod fill.
I think that's right on target. If we're going to get above 80 bushels per acre, we got to have that canopy photosynthetically active as long as we can keep it active. And putting out more potash at that time helps keep the potash level in that leaf up where we'd like to see it. And if you're out sampling for potash level, I would encourage, taking a sample from upper fully sized leaf, dark green leaves. The developing leaves like this are not quite ready. And of course, you want to stay away from the lower leaves because potash is draining out of them. But be seeing what your ideal level is, sample leaves at about the third node down on the plant.
Absolutely, and this ground has very adequate fertility. We've been pulling petiole analysis that you observed, and everything looked adequate at the time, but we're thinking about heavy pod fill. There'll be a drain on that potash, so having everything the plant needs to be healthy and available at that time is going to be one of the keys. So in treating it like a corn crop for very high yields or cotton or whatever, we want the plant to be as healthy as possible, to be able to utilize all of the fertility and the sunlight for photosynthesis it can to make soybeans.
And another thing with the early system soybean, you're taking on an added risk of low seed quality if you let that plant stay out here in the field after maturity. So it's going to be key to you as soon as it matures, get this beans harvested.
Most definitely, and that's one of the keys that we've been working with Eddie about is when these beans are ready to harvest, we're going to go in and we'll desiccate those with paraquat, and we'll be sitting here with the combines, and as soon as they get ready, we're going to be getting them out, because it's like a wheat crop. They will not stand water, so when something's ready to gather, the ox is in the ditch, so to speak.
That's right. And I hope to hear that report of this guy making 100+ bushels of soybeans on a large acreage this time.
Well, I certainly appreciate that, and we appreciate you coming up and giving us your expertise on this.
It's always a joy to see good-looking soybeans for me.